We see them in glossy magazines. They hang in the windows of the most exclusive shops in London, Paris, and Milan. A luxury jacket, shimmering under the bright lights, can cost thousands of pounds. It feels soft. It looks incredible. But have you ever stopped to think about where it really comes from? What journey does it take before it ends up on a hanger? This isn't just about fashion. It's a story about people, about a process, and about an animal. The story begins far away from the glamour of the high street, in a place most of us will never see. It starts with a snake and it ends with a statement piece that someone will treasure. This journey is a long and complicated one. It involves many hands and many different skills. From the remote villages where the raw materials are sourced, to the bustling workshops where they are transformed, every step is crucial. It's a global chain that connects nature to high fashion. We are going to follow that chain. We'll look at how a fragile, patterned skin is turned into a durable, beautiful material. It's a process that has been refined over many years. It mixes old traditions with modern technology. Understanding this process helps us understand the true cost of the items we buy. It's about more than just the price tag. For this particular jacket, its story starts with the skin of a python. These skins are known for their unique and beautiful patterns. Each scale tells a part of the story. The journey from a living creature to a luxury item is filled with detailed work. It requires incredible patience and skill. We'll meet the workers who handle these delicate materials. We will see the care they take at every stage. It's a world of precision, where one small mistake could ruin a valuable piece of skin. This is the hidden side of luxury, a world that is usually kept behind closed doors. Our investigation will take us right into the heart of the factory floor. We want to see it all for ourselves. How is the skin prepared? How is it tanned to make it soft yet strong? How are the tiny individual pieces cut and then stitched together to create the final garment? And finally, we will look at the finished product. We will see it as it arrives in the store, ready for a customer. But we will also ask the bigger questions. In a world that is more aware of animal welfare and sustainability, where does an item like this fit in? Let's begin the journey. The journey of our jacket starts in the vast, humid landscapes of Southeast Asia. Here, snakes like pythons are a part of the ecosystem. The collection of their skins is a source of income for many local communities. This process is often regulated by international laws to ensure that species are not overhunted. The collectors are usually local people who know the environment well. They understand the behavior of the snakes. The work is difficult and can be dangerous. It requires a deep knowledge of the local wildlife and terrain. The skins they gather are the very first link in a long and complex supply chain. Once a skin is collected, it must be handled with great care. It is a delicate biological material. If it is not treated properly straight away, it can start to decay and become useless. The collectors carefully remove the skin from the snake. This is a skilled job. The goal is to keep the skin in one large, complete piece, without any tears or holes. Any damage can significantly reduce its value. The skin is then often salted or dried in the sun. This is a basic method of preservation. It removes moisture and stops bacteria from growing, keeping the skin intact until it can be transported to a tannery. These raw, preserved skins are then sold to traders. These traders act as middlemen. They buy skins from many different collectors across a wide area. They gather them together and prepare them for the next stage. The skins are graded based on their size, the quality of their pattern, and whether they have any imperfections. The best, most flawless skins will fetch the highest prices. These are the ones destined for the luxury market. They are the A-grade materials that high-end fashion houses demand for their exclusive products. This selection process is strict and unforgiving. From the local traders, the skins are packed and shipped. Their destination is a specialized tannery, which might be in another part of the country or even on a different continent. The global trade in exotic leathers is a huge business. These shipments are tracked and documented. This is to comply with regulations like CITES, the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora. This system is meant to ensure that the trade is legal and sustainable. For the workers on the ground, however, it is simply their livelihood. It is the first, crucial step in turning a piece of nature into a piece of high fashion. When the stiff, salted skins arrive at the tannery, they are far from being the soft leather needed for a jacket. They are dry, rigid, and still have organic matter attached to them. The first job for the tannery workers is to bring them back to a more natural state. This starts with a process called soaking. the skins are placed in large vats of clean water. This process can take several hours, or even a couple of days. The water rehydrates the skins, making them pliable again. It also begins to wash away the salt used for preservation, along with any dirt or blood that remains. After the initial soak, the real cleaning begins. This stage is known as fleshing. Workers lay each skin flat on a curved surface. Using specialized tools, they manually scrape away any remaining flesh, fat, and membranes from the underside of the skin. This is physically demanding work that requires a steady hand and a lot of concentration. If they scrape too hard, they could damage the delicate scale pattern on the other side. If they don't scrape enough, the tanning agents won't be able to penetrate the skin properly later on. It's a delicate balance. Once the fleshing is complete, the skins undergo another series of washes. This time, chemicals might be added to the water. These agents help to remove certain proteins and oils that would otherwise cause the skin to stiffen and rot over time. This process, known as liming, also helps to loosen the outer scales. For some types of snake leather, these outer scales are removed to create a smoother finish. For others, they are kept intact to preserve the natural texture. The decisions made here will determine the final look and feel of the leather. The entire preparation phase is all about cleaning and purifying. It is about stripping the skin back to its essential structure, which is mainly a protein called collagen. Every step is carefully controlled. The temperature of the water, the types of chemicals used, and the length of time the skins are treated are all monitored. The goal is to prepare a perfect blank canvas for the next and most critical stage of the process, tanning. Without this meticulous preparation, the skin would simply rot away. It would never become the strong, lasting material we know as leather. This is the moment of transformation. The cleaned and prepped skin is now ready for tanning. Tanning is the chemical process that permanently alters the protein structure of the skin. It stops it from decaying and turns it into a stable, durable material. Without tanning, the skin would just be a preserved piece of raw hide. With tanning, it becomes leather. There are several methods, but for delicate exotic skins like snake, a process called chrome tanning is often used. It's fast and produces a very soft, supple leather that is perfect for clothing. The skins are placed into huge, rotating drums. These look like giant washing machines. The drums are filled with a solution of water and chromium salts. As the drums slowly turn, the tanning solution is able to penetrate deep into every part of the skin. This process can take several hours. The chromium molecules bond with the collagen proteins in the skin. This creates a stable and flexible structure that is resistant to water, heat, and bacteria. The color of the skins often changes during this process, turning to a pale blue-gray shade, which is why chrome-tanned leather is sometimes called wet blue. After spending enough time in the tanning drums, the skins are removed. They are now officially leather, but the process is not over yet. They are dripping wet and still have that characteristic blue-gray color. The next step is to remove excess water. The skins are passed through a machine with two large rollers, which works like an old-fashioned mangle. It squeezes out much of the moisture. Then, they might be shaved. A special machine shaves the underside of the leather to a precise, uniform thickness. This is crucial for making a jacket, where every panel needs to be exactly the same weight and thickness. Finally, the leather moves on to the next stage, which is known as re-tanning, dyeing, and fat liquoring. This is where the final properties of the leather are determined. The leather might be put back into a drum with different tanning agents to give it specific characteristics. Then, dyes are added to give the leather its final color. At the same time, special oils and fats are added to the drum. This process, called fat liquoring, lubricates the protein fibers. It is what makes the leather so soft, flexible, and luxurious to the touch. Without it, the leather would be stiff and brittle. Once the tanning process is complete, the leather is essentially a blank canvas. It is stable and durable, but it lacks the beauty and character needed for a luxury product. This is where the dyeing and finishing artists take over. The blue-gray wet blue leather is now ready to be given its final color. For a high-fashion jacket, this could be anything from a classic black to a vibrant eye-catching red or even a metallic gold. The leather is placed back into drums, this time with a mixture of hot water and carefully selected dyes. The drum tumbles for hours, ensuring the color penetrates evenly throughout the leather. Achieving the perfect color is a science. The chemists and dye specialists in the tannery are experts. They must consider the natural properties of the snakeskin, as the scales and the skin between them can absorb dye differently. This can be used to enhance the natural pattern, making it stand out more. Sometimes multiple dyeing processes are needed to achieve the desired depth of color. After dyeing, the leather is rinsed thoroughly to remove any excess dye. The pH level is carefully adjusted to lock the color in permanently, ensuring it won't rub off on clothes later. After dyeing, the leather is stretched out and dried. This is a critical step. The leather is carefully pinned onto large frames or boards. This is called toggling. It holds the leather flat and prevents it from shrinking or wrinkling as it dries. The drying itself happens in controlled environments. The temperature and humidity are carefully managed to ensure the leather dries slowly and evenly. If it dries too quickly, it can become hard and brittle. This slow, patient process is essential for maintaining the softness and flexibility that was introduced during the fat liquoring stage. The final touches are then applied in the finishing department. This is where the leather's surface is perfected. A range of techniques can be used. A clear protein glaze might be applied and then polished with a glass cylinder to give the leather a high-gloss, shiny finish. For a matte look, different sprays might be used. Sometimes, metallic foils or special pigments are applied to create unique effects. This is the stage where the creative vision of the fashion designer truly comes to life, on the surface of the leather. Each skin becomes a unique piece of art, ready to be cut. The finished, dyed and treated leather now leaves the tannery. It arrives at the manufacturing workshop, which might be thousands of miles away, perhaps in Italy or France. Here the rolls of precious snake leather are handled by a new set of experts, the cutters. This is one of the most skilled and important jobs in the entire process. The cutter's task is to lay out the paper patterns for the jacket, the front panels, the back, the sleeves, the collar, onto the leather. Their goal is to cut all the pieces needed while wasting as little material as possible. This is like solving a very expensive and complicated jigsaw puzzle. The cutter cannot simply place the pattern pieces anywhere. They must study each individual skin. Snake skins have a natural flow and pattern. The scales run in a certain direction. The cutter must ensure that the patterns on the different pieces of the jacket will match up when they are sewn together. For example, the pattern on the left front panel must be a near-perfect mirror image of the right front panel. The scales on the sleeves must flow in the same direction. They must also avoid any tiny natural imperfections in the skin, like scars or blemishes, that might have occurred during the snake's life. Using a very sharp, pointed blade, the cutter carefully cuts each piece by hand. This requires immense concentration and a surgeon's precision. They follow the lines of the paper pattern exactly. There is no room for error. A slip of the hand could ruin a panel, and because of the unique nature of each skin, it might be impossible to find a matching piece to replace it. This is why experienced cutters are so highly valued in the luxury fashion industry. Their eyes are trained to see the potential in each skin, and their hands are skilled enough to unlock it. Once all the pieces for a single jacket are cut, they are bundled together. This includes the main body panels, the sleeves, pockets, collar, and any other smaller details. Each bundle is a complete kit for one jacket. It is labeled and kept together to ensure that all the pieces, which were cut from the same or carefully matched skins, are used for the same garment. This guarantees a consistent look and feel across the finished product. The flat, individual pieces of leather are now ready to be passed on to the next team of artisans, the sewing machine operators who will bring the jacket to life. The carefully cut pieces of snake leather now move to the assembly line, but this is not a typical, fast-paced factory line. It is a quiet, focused workshop where highly skilled machinists work. Each machinist might specialize in a particular part of the jacket, like setting sleeves or attaching collars. The leather is delicate. Sewing it is not like sewing fabric. It cannot be held together with pins, because pins would leave permanent holes. Instead, the machinists use special tape or a thin layer of glue to hold the seams in place before stitching. The sewing machines themselves are also specialized. They are designed to handle leather. They use strong, durable thread, often made of silk or a high-quality synthetic material. The machinist guides the leather pieces through the machine with expert control. They must sew at a steady pace. If they sew too fast, the needle could overheat and damage the leather. The stitch length has to be perfect. If the stitches are too close together, they could perforate the leather and make it weak, like the dotted line on a piece of paper. It is a slow and methodical process that requires years of practice to master. As the jacket takes shape, other components are added. A soft lining, perhaps made of silk or cupro, is sewn in. This makes the jacket comfortable to wear and helps it to slide on and off easily. Zips, buttons, and other hardware are attached. This is another specialist job. Attaching a heavy metal zip to a delicate leather garment requires reinforcement to ensure the leather doesn't tear over time. Buttonholes must be cut and stitched with absolute precision. Every single detail, even the ones you can't see from the outside, is finished to the highest standard. The entire assembly of one snake leather jacket can take many days. It is a collaborative effort, but one that relies on individual skill. The person who sews the main seams must trust that the cutter has done their job perfectly. The person who sets the collar must work with the pieces they are given. Throughout the process, there is a constant sense of respect for the material. The workers know how valuable it is. They handle each piece with care, knowing that it has already been on a long journey, and that their work is one of the final, critical steps in creating a true luxury item. The jacket is now fully assembled. It looks like a finished product, but it is not ready for the shop floor just yet. It must first pass through the hands of the quality control inspectors. This is the final and most rigorous inspection. These inspectors are the guardians of the brand's reputation. They have an expert eye for detail and are trained to spot even the tiniest flaw. They examine every single aspect of the jacket. They check every seam to make sure the stitching is straight, even, and secure. They check that the patterns on the leather match up perfectly across different panels. The inspectors run their hands over the entire surface of the jacket, feeling for any imperfections in the leather. They check the lining to ensure it is smooth and correctly fitted. They test the zips and buttons to make sure they function perfectly. They look for any loose threads that need to be trimmed. This is a top-to-bottom review. If any fault is found, no matter how small, the jacket is sent back to the workshop to be corrected. In some rare cases, if the flaw cannot be fixed, the jacket might be rejected entirely. Only perfection is good enough to carry the brand's label. Once a jacket passes the inspection, it moves to the final finishing stage. It is carefully steamed to remove any creases that may have occurred during the assembly process. The leather is given a final polish or conditioning treatment. This enhances its shine and protects the surface. It's like the final buff and polish on a brand new car. This last touch brings out the full beauty of the leather and ensures it looks its absolute best when the customer sees it for the first time. Any tags, labels, and price information are carefully attached. The jacket is then prepared for its final journey. It is carefully folded, often with layers of acid-free tissue paper to protect it. It is placed inside a protective garment bag and then into a branded box. The packaging itself is part of the luxury experience. The jacket is now a complete product, a fusion of natural material and human craftsmanship. It has passed the Wison source through countless hands, each one adding a layer of value and refinement. It is finally ready to be shipped from the workshop to the brand's flagship stores around the world, waiting for its new owner. There it is, hanging in the hushed, elegant space of a luxury boutique. The snake leather jacket is illuminated by a soft spotlight. Its surface catches the light, showing off the intricate pattern of the scales. The price tag is discreet but significant, reflecting the incredible journey the jacket has been on. It represents the work of collectors, tanners, cutters, and sewers. It embodies hours of skilled labor and the rarity of the material itself. For the customer who buys it, it is more than just a piece of clothing. It is a symbol of status, style, and an appreciation for fine craftsmanship. When a customer tries it on, they feel the result of all that work. The surprising lightness of the garment, the softness of the leather against their skin, the perfect fit that comes from a well-designed pattern and expert assembly. This is the end of the line for the jacket's creation, but the beginning of its life as a treasured possession. It might be worn for years, even decades, and perhaps passed down to the next generation. This longevity is part of the argument for luxury goods. The idea is to buy less, but buy better. To invest in items that last, rather than fast fashion that is quickly discarded. However, we can't ignore the difficult question at the heart of this story. The use of animal skins in fashion is a deeply divisive issue. For many people, the idea of an animal being used for luxury item is ethically wrong. Animal rights organizations campaign tirelessly against the trade in exotic leathers. They highlight concerns about animal welfare, the impact on wild populations, and the cruelty that can be involved in the sourcing of skins. They argue that in the 21st century, with so many high-quality alternatives available, there is no need to use real animal skins for fashion. In response, the luxury industry and the communities involved in the trade have their own perspective. They argue that when properly regulated, the trade can be a force for good. It can provide a vital income for rural communities and create an economic incentive to conserve the habitats where these animals live. If the land has value, it is less likely to be destroyed. Many high-fashion brands today are making choices. Some have banned exotic skins entirely, opting for innovative vegan leathers. Others continue to use them, but place a huge emphasis on ethical sourcing and supply chain transparency. For the consumer, the choice is a personal one, and as we've seen, it's a choice that is far more complex than just picking a jacket off a rail.